Hello everyone! My name is Cosmic Rainbow Flower, or Rainbow Lola, and this is the story of how I built one of the largest marble bases in all of Survival Valheim. Stay tuned and check out more of the build. So today, I'm going to show you a couple of different build designs that you can make with marble, because I think that once you start to understand the possibilities of what you can do with it, you'll be a lot more excited about these builds and what you can accomplish with them.
We'll start off first with this greebling on the wall, and as you can see, this is one of the corner blocks, then this is one of the downward facing piers, and then this is a single square. And if you repeat this pattern, just going up, so there's a single square above here, and then a downward facing pier, and then a downward corner, and then single block, downward facing pier, downward corner, all the way up. It makes this really cool kind of popped out greebling effect, which I think is just really spiffy for if you're trying to go upwards and connect an angle with something that is higher above it or lower down below it. If you see on the back side, I have this done in reverse where it's going down tower, and I think that looks pretty nice as well. I'll show you all that real quick. If I can. So yeah, over here on this side, you can now see this nice downward facing greebling over here. The next section we're going to go over is this fancy little reinforced chest storage area. And how I did this was I used the single blocks combined with double blocks. I used the downward corners, downward corner, kind of clipped into this one. I used the upward corners, and then I used pyramids when I could. Top. Yes, we got the pyramids, multi-layered. If you look at this one is just a double pyramid, which is what gives it that popped out thing, and then this one has the blocks in the center. These three all have blocks in the center, which make them kind of drop down a little bit more of an angle, but I felt like it gave it more of a kind of Storm Wizard chaos vibe, not have it line up perfectly, have it kind of be this three-tiered layering system. But inside here, to make these chests float, what you do is you put down a wooden wall, a wooden floor. And you can see I put the chest on top of that, and then once I put the chest in, I just build the wall around that. And it works. And you're left with a pretty snazzy storage area. The next series of shapes that I want to draw y'all's attention to is this fancy light source. I'm using these as lamps throughout the base, and you can see these are just 4 pyramids stacked on top of each other with a wooden pillar in the center for the wisp light to stand on top of. Now we're on to one of my favorite areas in this entire build, and you'll see why in a second. I think that once you start getting the hang of the corner pieces and layering, multiple blocks on top of each other to achieve the desired look that you want, you'll start to have a lot more fun with this. And here's where that, I think, really starts to shine. You can see I have these corner-facing downward pillars. These all go outwards and face out into the sky, which is what gives my base that kind of like surrounded by that bottom pillaring look, which I think looks really nice. And then you can see these are actually just clipped into I think I put them on the wall. They clip on the wall, and they'll actually clip into the little clip point right here, like halfway between the blocks. You do it right, I think, yeah, just like that. And then so once you do that, it's pretty straightforward to just, mirror that on the other side. and you get these really cool, kind of fancy looking inlays. But if you look at this corner where it goes around, you see the big triangles here. But this is actually like 5 different pieces all stacked together. You got the corner here, the other corner here, this corner here, that corner here, the block down here, and then all the 2 pieces connecting it. But it's just getting this to layer inside of the other one on top of that to get it this wrapped around look and making it look just very flush with the other sign. It took a lot of time to try and figure that out, but it was just a very fun little challenge. And then around here we have more greebling on the wall. This is kind of like the reverse of what the other side was, is what I was kind of going for with the 2 things. This one, the pyramids are going out, and this one, they're kind of all recessed into the wall. And so you can see this is done. You basically take these 2 corner pieces, these 2 pyramids, stack them into this. Lost my marbles. It's created into the wall. Okay. And then you can see these just kind of fit very cleanly into here. These are all just on that kind of the 2x1s. They're just sitting on the 2x1s, and these are reverse blocks. So the reason that I started designing this was to try and make enough space to have the floor and have this connect down there, but when I found that this looked so aesthetic, I kind of just wanted to mirror it throughout the rest of the base, and I think it's pretty nice. These are the downward facing, here's the downward facing plinths, the black marble plinths, not the corners. Downward facing ones though. And then you stack these on top of each other and line the sides with these marble blocks, and then you can stack on top of it just one of these pyramid shapes going into the wall. And if you look on this side, this light actually, it comes through from the other side. So with the way that this sits, if you are not careful and you're not having a double layer thick, because you can see this is 2 layers thick versus this is just 1 layer thick, it will come through the other side. So you have to build at least 2 layers thick for this design to work. Just something to keep in mind. And then through here we have a nice little bedroom. These are all upward facing corners stuck through the floor. All the cornices. And they do actually go outside a little bit like this, but I was able to kind of hide it with some other aesthetic choices and with the battlements. And then you got some marble thrones, some nice little aesthetic decorations. I still want to do the interior more in this. I'll be moving on to the next section. So up here, you can start to see how these marble cornices are laid into the floor. And these actually are all downward facing with these corners kind of here. This one is just a regular plinth, not the corner piece. If you need it to wrap around into space, you use the corner. If you need it to go flush against the wall, then you can just use the plinth. But you can see on this side, this is actually another several pieces. This is the downward plinth, the cornice, followed by some corner blocks. This is a downward plinth from upstairs, or it might be the corner. I think it's actually the bottom of this corner piece, which is why I ended up designing it like this. You're gonna have to play around a little bit to get your unique build with all the corners and trying to clip everything in. As much as I can give you a general idea of how to do this stuff, and like what to look for, it's really gonna depend on what your unique base wants and needs and how you're doing these corners. But if you can see with this, it does drop down one extra, but it creates this nice kind of flush double corner where you have the floor coming out to meet this, but you still also have this. I've kind of toyed around with having the idea of filling this corner. But I don't know if it really looks as good, and also it's kind of just hard to put this into once you have that built. I'm gonna try it real quick and see how I can... But yes, I was able to clip it in, and how I did that was the following. So you have to do it in a very specific order. So you have to place the corner block first with a single block. Then you go over here and you place the plinth corner. And then you come around with, you can either use the black, I actually found out you can just use the regular cornice for this and it works pretty okay as well. You don't have to use the corner piece, so if you just want to save yourself one black marble, this will work. But you can just put this cornice right here. And you can see this is a nice flush angle. Looks good on all sides. Nice. Although I kind of do like the overlay on that side. Just now that I'm looking at it. What I can do then is just like this. I think that actually looks a little bit better. I don't know. Let me know in the comments, chat. Do you like it with the angle or not? It can go both ways, I think. So next we're going to move on to the roof and how we did that. And you can see it's pretty simple. You just make these black marble corners, and then you use the downward facing plinths. Use them over and over until you meet the other corner, and then you just repeat going up until you hit the top. You may need to reinforce if you're building very high like I have, using these iron pillars. They will tremendously increase the build height. So if you're looking for like a really large build, then you're going to need to use these pillars for it. I actually have these hidden in layers. You can see it sticking out a little bit. I have rings around the inside to kind of keep it structurally sound. If you have a connecting shape, like if you have a square, it is actually going to be a lot more structurally sound than if you just have a single piece of iron pillar going straight up. So making shapes where you're actually adding structural integrity does work and will make a difference in your build. Alright, the last set of shapes I'm going to draw y'all's attention to and talk about today is going to be this cornering on the top and the kind of battlements system that I got going on there. It's, if you take these downward facing cornices, oh actually there's going to be one more after this. But if you take these downward facing cornices, then you are lining them up like this across the edge. Just stacking them like that. Actually, I think you need to go down one layer and connect them into the layer under this. But you can do that with the corners. You can see this one just, if I have it right here, it'll just stack. Once you do one, it's a lot easier to get the rest of them going. But you can do corners with the corner pieces. And then you can just make your battlements however you want. You can make little gaps. Eventually, I do want to have like little gaps where I have like sections built up to kind of make it more battlement looking, but that is going to be a work in progress. And then here we have these little downward pyramids. How I did these was just a single black marble floor triangle, and then you put the 3 pyramids going on 1, 2, 3 sides around it, and then that would pretty much make one of these little battlement piers. But last, this is another one. If that other build was my favorite, this is definitely my second favorite. But you can see over here we have these arches. They're just lined up one after another after each other. But where it gets really cool is you see over here on the corner, you can actually stack them into themselves. So how you do this, basically you have to have a floor piece under them for this to work. So this only works if you're standing on the same level as this piece, and if there is a floor under it. So otherwise it will not work. I had to build a scaffolding system to go out and under the deck so I could have a piece to build on. But you can see when I put this here, I'm gonna steal a couple marble from this real quick. But when I put this here, I can then still flip this into, if I do it just right, I can flip it in, but rotate it 1 degree to the side. And if you do it just right, so you gotta make sure the angle's lining up, because it looks kind of close, but it's not. So you have to make sure the angle is right. This one I think would be good, but then you can keep on rotating it and flipping, and then you find these angles, and you can make it really flush like this. Like it actually goes very fluidly. The only thing is, you can tell this horn starts on 1 layer, and then I kind of had to actually build like a half layer out. Like this is 1 block, and then this is a block and a half out. So it will take up more space. It'll take like an extra half block going out around. So you're just gonna have to accommodate that with more of the black marble 2x1s. I have like a row of the 2x1s, and then these are clipped to that. So you can take that all the way around, and it creates a really nice aesthetic, I think. So yeah, that is basically how I built my black marble fortress. There are a couple things that are pretty, you know, self-explanatory, just like, you know, the 2x1 blocks that are making the bricks. One thing I do want to say is when you're doing the bricklaying, if you wanna lay it so these blocks are spaced out with one on top of it, so you can actually grab blocks out and not have stuff collapse. Or say like a troll attacks, you want to be able to not have things collapse on themselves. So it makes it a lot more durable. But aside from that, that is basically how I built this. And if y'all want to see any more cool builds, I think the next build is going to be a castle made from stone. It's going to be an open air castle. I'm going for the largest open air survival castle in Valheim. That is my goal. And we'll see if we can do it. But until then, I hope y'all have a great new year, and much love always. I'll see y'all next time. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Oh, is that a fucking 2-star seeker? He said, let me tell you. No! I got greedy on the last one. The fucking slipe stick. Adds down.
Yeah, I'm going in. I'm gonna try and get some damage on him.
I died. I'm dead.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that was rough. I saw it. Oh! Block! Yep.
I'm gonna die.
Was quick. Run. I didn't know it was a 2-star. Run.
I'm dead from the fucking tick. Get off the stairs, please, sir. That level 2, that 2-star is just on the stairs, camping my body. I'm dead again. Okay, he's not on the stairs this time.
Alright, I'm coming back.
I dead.
He pushed me out. He literally knocked me out of the dungeon.
A fucking one-shot?
Yeah.
I have 2 health. I have 2 health.
Run.
I can't. Can you help?
I can't. I just fell off.
I'm dead. I don't know if that Desquito died. Okay, I just died from that feeling from nowhere. Oh god. That's it. Fuck, damn it, Chad, I fell off. Are you fucking kidding?
I think that wave is gonna fall, and then the whole world's
Yep.
gonna come watch it. Yeah, here we go.
Odin! We shall see you soon.